All right, hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and thank you for coming by. And whoops, what's going on? Okay, I'm just looking at my stream, but it's still like maybe 30 minutes. 30 minutes. Oh my gosh, 30 seconds behind. I'm still seeing the new intro. There we go. It switched over. Um, all right, guys. So, how do you like the new intro? I've been wanting to make something just as something I can play on the screen while I finalize setting up the cameras or getting my props out that I'm going to use and I'm going to explain or talk about during the video. All right, so let me move this microphone just a little bit off. I know it's might be a little loud. If it is, just let me know. If it's just right, let me know. And if it's too soft, let me know. But either way, I'm going to leave it where it is. I got a few things I want to talk to you guys about today. Not all of it is about miniature wargaming. Some of it might be about what's going on in my country, and I don't think I want to turn this podcast, I call it a podcast, but really it's just, I don't know, a vlog maybe. It's more of a vlog, I guess, where I talk about what I've been doing and stuff like that. But I want it to kind of be a podcast where I talk about what's going on in the gaming world and what's going on in my personal world as well. So it's a little bit of both. I'm going to be talking about my next set of miniatures that I'm working on for my Waterloo project. I'm going to be talking about how I came to the couple of conclusions about my units. I've got my worksheet. I use like a spreadsheet, and I have some organizational charts that I have them, and they're going to be on the screen here in just a second. I'm going to pull them up. We're going to talk about American War of Independence flags, companies, and a little bit of their difference. And we're going to talk about I got the Oathmark rulebook over here. We want to talk a little bit about that. So I got quite a bit to talk about, but I don't know if it's going to fill a full 2 hours. I don't know. We'll see. And if it doesn't, no big deal. Then we'll just end a little bit early. I do need to personally. Today is in my household. It's trash day. We have like 100 trash cans out behind our garage, and I think they're all full. So what we're going to do is go take them to the dump. We're going to empty them out, and then we'll start it all over again. Okay. Plus, my personal hobby trash can is starting to get full, so we'll have to empty that out as well. And usually that's a good sign because I put very little trash in there. It's usually just lead shavings or plastic shavings or whatever. Usually empty sprues or something like that usually go in there. And usually when that gets full, that tells me that our 25 or 100, I don't even know how many garbage cans we got out back, but that tells me that they're probably getting close to full because this fills so slowly. Okay, just as an announcement to the store, it's going pretty good. We've got miniatures. I'm trying to keep up. I'm painting them as fast as I can. People are buying them off my eBay store faster than I can paint them. That's a good sign. That tells me my shelves are starting to empty out. So what that means for my Waterloo project is I might be doing a 2-to-1. I might be painting 2 models for the store, 2 units for the store for every unit that I paint for my personal self. Okay. All right. So let's talk about the American War of Independence flags first, right? Um, oh yeah, that's true. I do also want to pull up the forums that were the polls that I put out to about like, are you playing Napoleonic's American War of Independence, skirmish, or those polls that I had out on the channel, which I'm going to tell you, I've got good responses on that, and that's helped out quite a bit. Now my channel shows that I have I don't know, 7,000 subscribers or something like that. We'll take a look at that real close here in a minute. But I'm gonna have to admit that I think 2,000 or 3,000 of those don't ever come to the channel anymore. 2,000 or 3,000 of those are probably holdovers from when my channel used to be primarily an airsoft channel, and a lot of people came to watch these airsoft videos, which I stopped making a couple of years ago. And so I assume that they didn't stick around. They're not coming to the channel because I'm not providing them any content that they want to see. But the other 4,000 or so, I think, are all either computer gamers, like to watch me play computer games, or are miniature hobbyists. I actually think the majority of you guys are miniature hobbyists. So if you want to chat, I switched the monitors, so I actually have my stream over here, which is behind me, my stream software. I use OBS. OBS Classic, actually. Yeah, I think it's OBS Classic. Studio. Might be OBS Studio. I don't remember. But I moved my YouTube upload to over here, which is actually like right underneath my camera. So if I look up at the camera, I can see if you guys are chatting with me. If you guys are at work, watching, just listening in the background, that's fine too. Okay, so let's talk about these guys. And funny enough, stream-wise, this camera that I've got right here, you can barely see it. I got the tripod right here. Normally, the tripod handle would be sticking up right here. But what I did was I moved the camera 90 degrees, turned the tripod, and tilted the camera up. So the camera is still facing down. It's just the handle is off to the side and not the back, because it would have been like right there. And I didn't want it to be there. Okay, sorry. I have a million different things I'm talking about. And now I have to keep constantly look behind me to make sure I'm still in camera and everything's focused. But I will do that for you guys. Okay, so I have a couple of Cotton Gym flags. Yeah, believe it or not, I still have some Cotton Gym flags. I've got some GMB flags, and I've got some Flags of War flags. And we're going to compare them all. And I'm going to complain. I'm going to complain about some of these flags. I'm going to tout some flags, a flag company. So I got some positives and I got some negatives. Okay. Quality wise, just straight up clarity of the printing, I think GMB has the best printing. 100%. The paper they use, the what do they call it? The weight of the paper and the laser printing that they use and the cutting lines is a big advantage. I really like that on the GMB flags. That's 100% up there. But that's all I have good to say about them. Okay. I ordered some American War of Independence and some Napoleonic flags from GMB. And I ordered some American War of Independence and Napoleonic flags from Flags of War. The only reason why I ordered these Flags of War flags was because I was disappointed with the GMB flags, and I'll explain that here in just a minute. But they make other great flags, so I ordered a GMB flag and a Flags of War flag. I got the Flags of War flags about a week after I ordered. Now, I understand that both of these are coming from the UK, and I got these about a week after I placed the order, maybe a little bit longer. But like 2 or 3 days after I had gotten my Flags of War order in, I got an email from GMB saying that my order was finished and they're shipping it. So the shipping is a little bit delayed. Now I understand the gentleman that runs GMB had an issue like 2 months ago, family-wise. He had a family emergency, but this is 2 months later, so I would expect him to have either been caught up or got that issue resolved. So, now Flags of War might print these ahead of time and have them on shelves ready to go, where GMB might print them to order, so I had to wait for them to be printed. I don't know. All I'm saying is it was almost 2 weeks later was this shipped. I still haven't even received this order yet from GMB. Okay, these are previous flags that I ordered that I thought that's all I would need, and then I realized they were not, so I ordered these. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what I'm about to show you. I'm getting ready to show you some Hessians or Brunswick flags. A lot like the English flags. The English have like a regimental flag and a king's color. Okay, well, the Brunswicks do basically the same thing. They have a noble flag or a royal flag, and they have the regimental flag. So they actually have two different flags. And these flags are reversed in colors, and you can kind of just see it off camera right here. You can see this is von Speck. You have the white with the red, right? And then you've got the red with the white. And that is exactly what you are supposed to have with the Brunswick regiments. So I applaud Flags of War for having that. Also, Flags of War is about £1 cheaper per flag set, right? I think these are like $4.99 and these are like $3.99. The quality difference is pretty great, but the accuracy of the colors and the pattern and the design outweighs the quality, in my opinion. Okay, so let's take a look at these. This actually looks like it could be very accurate, right? You've got the solid white with the royal corners, and then you've got the white with the blue corners. There's kind of not exactly reversed, but this is probably accurate, and that's von Donop. It's a Hessian. Hesse Castle. Okay. Now here is von Speck. This is von Speck. Do you see a problem? This has two identical flags. You've got the regimental and the regimental, but no royal. Where this one, you've got the regimental and the royal. Flags of War is correct. All right. This is Alt Losberg. Guess what? 90% of my mind is telling me that's incorrect because it's not reversed. Okay. Von Riedesel. This is Von Riedesel as well. The blue and the yellow, reversed. Blue and the yellow, not reversed. Plus, these horses are a lot larger and more, I don't know which one is accurate, but this definitely stands out more. I like the look of this flag better than this flag. Plus, I understand that the detail is higher on this flag, but Flags of War wins again. In my opinion, Flags of War is winning out on the patterns. And then here's Von Retz. Okay, now you might notice that these Brunswick units that I'm pulling out, these all took place at Freeman's Farm or Saratoga. Okay, that's the last Flags of War. Correct. Reversed. Not reversed. GMB needs to get their act together when it comes to their Hessian flags. They need to recolor them or fix them. The royal corners, right? The crown with the wreaths. You can tell what they are over here on the Flags of War. You cannot tell what they are on the GMB. GMB flags are my go-to flags, but I'm disappointed with these. A lot of the GMB flags, specifically these Brunswick flags, have no image on their website. So when you go to order them, you don't realize that you're getting the wrong flag. So I was a little upset about that. But Flags of War have come through. They fixed my issue. Now let's talk about these Cotton Gym flags. Well, I ordered the Cotton Gym flag, but they only come with, well, they come with 3 regiments, great, but no royals. So, like, this and that is great. I thought maybe I could use the Cotton Gym flag for the regiment and the GMB for the royal, but guess what? They're the same. So, this and this can't use. And then same thing happened with the Hesse Castle, right? Wait, that's wrong. Von Speck. No, wait, maybe it is Hesse Castle. Okay, this one's unique. I don't remember which one it is. Hold on. It's not the Herb Prince von Retz Riedesel. Okay, it could be one of those. Von Speck. Riedesel, it's not that. Von Retz, green and red, it's not that. It would have to be that, but guess what? It can't be because this is a cross and this is an X, and plus the horse is different. So I'm a little confused on which one this is. I'm going to have to try to figure that out on my own. But either way, I only have one flag and I don't have the reverse for either of these two Cotton Gyms. So I'm disappointed with that. Okay, so when it comes to your Hessians or Brunswicks for American War of Independence, I would recommend going with Flags of War and not GMB. Just straight up, period. Okay. All right, I'm just putting these in my little Ziploc, so bear with me on that. Have you guys had any experience with that? If so, let me know in the chat. If not, don't worry about it. That's what I'm here for. Okay. I don't know what you guys drink. This is a little shameless plug. This Bang, if you're watching this video, I would love your sponsorship. But if you're not watching this video, I don't care. I'm still going to sponsor you out of the kindness of my own heart because I love this. I've been drinking a lot of Bang lately. They have like 20 different flavors. If you like your Monsters or your 3Ds or your, I don't know, some of the other energy drinks, Bang has a good taste. They're sweet with 0 calories. I don't know if you're into that. I don't know if you're into 0 calories. Plus, this is made in the USA. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 calories, 0 artificial colors. And it tastes good. Downside, they cost about $1.75 to $2 a can. I try not to drink more than 1 or 2 of those a day, but this is the second one that I've tried. That's the watermelon. It has kind of a watermelon candy flavor, but I really like their pina coladas. They've got things called cotton candy, and they've got birthday cake. They got Radical Skedaddle. That one's pretty cool too. And Frozen Rose or something like that. They have some weird names for some. Oh, and they also have iced tea as well. Okay, great. Moving on. All right, so let me bring up something on the camera. I've got display capture, blah blam, bam blammo. Okay, this is my allied side right here of units that, and if the box is filled in, that means I have finished that unit. Okay, if the box is filled in, if it's a British unit, and or Hanover, and it's filled in yellow, then that means I have done another unit, but I can proxy them. And that's what all of these units on this side are. This whole side are units that don't belong in here, but I can use them as a proxy. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the guard right now. I have 2 guard units that are already completely finished. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can... Boop. Okay, we'll get back to that in just a second. Or I could shrink it. Display, boop. That works. Okay, hopefully that works. Okay, so I have the need for speed. No, I have a need for 4 battalions of guard. I've got the 2nd of the 1st, I got the 3rd of the 1st, and then I also have the 2nd of the 3rd and the 2nd of the 2nd. Wait a second. Something's not right over here. Yeah, I was messing with this earlier, so guess what? We're gonna do it live. Okay, so this unit here, which is the 2nd of the 3rd Scots foot guard, not Scotch. They're not Scotch guards. They're Scots guards. This is the 2nd battalion of the 3rd, and this one is only 24 figures. So the second of the third, that's this group right there, right? Second of the third, right? Keep double checking because I messed up earlier. I'm going to tell you where I messed up. But I made these guys 24 figures. 24 figures is 2 boxes on my chart over here. If it shows 3 boxes like that, that's telling me it's a large unit and needs 32 figures. I do 8 stands of 4 for my large units, and I do 6 stands of 4 for my normal size units. So the second of the third is finished. That is done. These guys don't need any work done on them. Second of the third, done. Okay, now when it comes to this regiment, which is the second of the first, I made them large. Second of the first, I made them large. So this unit is done. Right? Okay. So the 2 units that I have here, these flags, is the second of the second, which is this one right there. And I have the third of the first, which is that unit right there. So far, so good? Okay. But now, for some reason, I'm feeling that this unit here is not the right size. So we're going to switch over to my text. There we go. And the only thing we really need to worry about is First Division. Okay, so let's take a look at First Division real quick. Second of the first, 900 men. Right? So I'm saying that they need to have 32 figures because it's 900 or more. I count as a large unit. So second of the first, is that this unit here? Second of the first, and I made them a large unit. So that unit is perfect, and that's why I have it all green here. And I have it listed as 32 figures. The third of the first is 900 as well, almost 1,000. So I'm telling myself I need 32 figures, and I have a flag for them, and their pants are going to be gray, just like a 2nd battalion. So 2nd and 3rd are both going to have gray. They're both going to be extremely large. Okay. But when I get down to the Coldstream and the 3rd Foot, which is the Scots Guard, this says there's 1,000 men. So the second of the third should be wait. See, I'm already messing up. Okay. Second of the third should be large. The second of the second should be normal size. So that's why I said 24 figures, white pants. And the second of the third, which is this unit right here, should also be large. Whoops, I'm hitting the camera. Should also be large. But because I only did 24 figures, I'm going to need to do 8 figures to make... Well, okay, hold on. This one is not large. Second of the second. Second of the second, not large. Perfect. Second of the third is large, but I need to do 8 more figures to flesh this battalion out. Basically, take it from 6 stands to 8 stands. The 2nd Brigade all wear white pants, but I've only done 24 of those figures. Okay, so far so good. So what I'm going to be working on is the Coldstream, which are these figures right here, and then 2 of the, so that's going to be the Coldstream, and then these 2 stands right here are going to be the figures that supplement this battalion. And then I'll have to do their 2nd Battalion at some other time, but not right now. So this one's going to get put away. This is the regiment I'm going to be doing here with only 24 figures, and then a couple of extra stands going in this battalion, and this one is already finished. Yeah, so see, it took me a little second to kind of figure that out, but the 2nd of the 2nd should be a normal, and the 2nd of the 3rd should be large. Okay, so let's fix that. Boop. Okay, and so that's what it's going to look like. It's going to be a full guard battalion when I'm done. I've only done 24 of the figures, and then I'm going to do these 24. So these figures right here are the ones that are on the table. I love the fact that all the guards have similar regimental flags. They're all this maroon color. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to set that off to the side. That's the one I'm going to be working on. Got it. So, take that and let me close that. Okay. So when I'm doing Napoleonics, I take a look at the battle, and if it's somewhere between, if it's about 500 plus, I use like a normal sized battalion. The 6 stands. If it's under 500, like if it's 400, then I'll probably, or maybe 400, I'll still use the standard size. It's kind of iffy right in that area. 300, I'll definitely make it a small unit, and then 1 to 150, I'll make it a tiny unit. But once you start getting into the 900 plus battalion size, I go ahead and make that a large. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about Oathmark here for just a minute. Oathmark, right? Oathmark's a fantasy battle game. I just got it last week, and I'm starting to do some tutorials. I call it a boot camp. It's on my website. I've done 3 videos so far. I've done the introduction, basically telling you what you need for the game. I've also done a like an activation turn order kind of video, and in the 3rd video I just did, it was talking about melee and ranged combat and morale checks. And to me, that's really all you need to know about a game to decide if you're going to like it or not. Is you need to know how the turn flows, you need to know how to maneuver your units, and you need to know how you roll dice for combat. All the other stuff, point values, units that are in the game, all that kind of extra stuff does impact it, but it's kind of like extra, right? So when I did these videos, I learned a lot actually while I was doing them. Part of the thing that I learned was it's a nice, smooth, fast, simple system. The Oathmark Battles of the Lost Age definitely is an Osprey game. Osprey does some really smooth, simple, fast play games. I've got a few others. I've got like Chosen Man, Lion Rampant, Oathmark. Hold on, let me kind of take a look up there. Chosen Man, Lion Rampant. I used to have a game. I got Rebels and something, right? Something Rebels. I don't know. But I used to have a game out there called Field of Glory. Field of Glory, even though it was an Osprey publication, it was too much. It was way too much. So I dropped it and went with Hail Caesar instead. But Oathmark falls in line with like Lion Rampant and Chosen Men and Rebels and Redcoats or something like that, as being very fast, smooth, and easy to play. One thing I like about Oathmark is there's about 10 supplemental books that you can buy already, and that tells me the game's got a following, and Osprey has felt comfortable in making supplemental books for it because there's got to be people buying it, right? Okay, so that's a good sign. They also who makes the frickin' the frickin' fracking things? It's not on here. Osprey Games. It's the Frostgrave guys. The guys making, what is the name of that brand? Oh my gosh. But there's a miniature line. Here it is. North Star Figures makes a whole figure line, metals and plastics, for Oathmark. Plus, you can use any of your fantasy figures. So if you got an orc army, all you got to do is just pull them out and put them in Oathmark, and you're good to go. If you got halflings, you got dwarves, you're good to go. You don't need to worry about it. The only thing that concerns me is base sizing and unit construction. The base sizes, and let me back up. The only reason why the base sizes concern me, and this is the only reason, is because I already have a bunch of fantasy armies, and they are based for Warhammer, and the Warhammer basing convention is not the Oathmark basing convention. In Warhammer, a human, a dwarf, a halfling, and an elf all are on 20 millimeter bases. Kind of like these guys, right? They are on 20 millimeter square bases. In Oathmark, it's not the case. They're 25 mil. I got some hiccups now, some burp from the carbonation from that bang, but hey. Oathmark uses 25 millimeter bases. So if I want to take my dwarven army and put it on the field, I'll either have to do something. I'll either have to rebase them or base them, like get some 25 millimeter bases as and then put them under my dwarf model, which seems reasonable, right? And then maybe I can magnetize the 25 millimeter base, magnetize the bottom of the dwarf base, and when I put the dwarf on the 25 millimeter base, boom. But if I'm going to go to that trouble, I don't see why I can't just rebase them. Because one thing, I'm not playing Warhammer ever again. My Warhammer, I've got some Warhammer 40k over there, but that's like 7 editions ago. And the rules, that is, the rules, templates, tokens, stuff like that in a box. Warhammer 40k. But that's it. All my Warhammer Fantasy stuff, long gone. Except for the miniatures. And in those, I can see taking my elves and rebasing them. I can see taking my orcs and skeletons and stuff like that and rebasing them. Should not be any problem. But the downside is, and I'm flip-flopping from good and bad, a lot of those models are old school metal Games Workshop models. And that means I'm going to need a slaughter base that's 1 inch. Well, guess what? I've got 1 million of those. Plus, if I'm going to do the Litco 1 inch bases, which I've ordered some, I can easily just order some Litco slaughter bases, you know, and then once I go to rebase them, I just slide them in the slaughter base. Or even then, even if I don't, I can cut the tab off and glue them straight on the base like I do with my every other figure I've got. Like my bolt action figures are all, they don't have slaughter bases. I just glue them straight onto the base. So I don't see a problem with doing that. The starter book comes with humans, elves, dwarves, orcs, and goblins. And then some independent monsters or whatever that you can put in your armies. But the supplemental books, like I already have one supplemental book, it has undead in it. That's great. But guess what else it has? It doesn't have just undead. It has things like champions or heroes or magic items. So the other books will also do that. They will have like terrain or battlefields, or because battlefields is a part of your army. So when you design your army, you're also designing the terrain that is in your kingdom. So, which is kind of a cool concept. We haven't gotten to that part in the tutorials yet, but when you build your army, you're also building your land. And so when you go to battle with your opponent, you'll have terrain already built as part of your army that certain pieces will be deployed, but not always. So you'll have a selection. I think it's a cool concept. I mean, I'm super digging it. But there is a big downfall. The basing part of it, I don't really concern myself with that, because 25 millimeter, 20 millimeter, no big deal. Round versus square, no big deal. I can take some round based models and just visualize that they've got a square base. I can put them inside of a movement tray, whether they've got round bases or not, will not kill me, you know, and then I can pluck them and use them for things like Hail Caesar or Lion Rampant or whatever. But if I go hard, which I'm getting ready to do, with Oathmark. I'm getting ready to really push the envelope. It's going to be my next big thing. I feel like it's going to be my next big thing because I'm really digging these rules. But there is one big minus. There's one big thing about it that I accept, but I don't like. I accept it as being in the game for play balance, for speed of play, for continuity, for point balancing or weapon balancing, or to make the game move faster or something. So I get that. Like whoever play tested this and then whoever designed this had, I'm sure they had some words about this and they settled on this thing that I'm willing to push aside my hate of this thing because it's such a small thing. Okay, and I'll tell you what it is. 5-man front. That's it. This game has ranks, rows, lines of, or files. I guess not files. I guess it's ranks. Ranks of 5 models. Not 6. Never, ever 6. Never, ever, ever is there 6 in your front rank. It's always 1 through 5. 1 through 5. Ever. 1 through 5. I could make some movement trays that have a 5-inch front. And then I could plop some miniatures in there and have a maximum rank of 5. Here's the second one. Maximum depth of your unit. 4. 4. So the maximum unit you can ever field is 20, right? So you could have 1 to 5 in the front, and then up to 5 or 4 ranks of 5. You cannot have, and this is part of the issue that I have. I can't go with 4 across and 2 deep, making 8 men. I can't do that. It's not allowed in the rules. If you have 8, there has to be 5 in the front, and then you take your remainder and put it in the second rank. That bugs me. I want to have four in the front and 2 deep for 8 models. That's what I want. It should be my choice to not have 5 in the front. The rules already reward you for having multiple ranks of 5. Because in the tables for determining target numbers to hit, or the number of dice you use to attack with, you get an extra 1 for every rank of 5 after the first. So that should be the only incentive that I as a player need to make units like that. I should have, and there should be a maximum bonus of the 4 ranks, right? So it says You get a +1 for every rank after the first, up to a total of 3, right? So what that'll do is it will artificially create a desire by me as an army designer to build my unit with 5 figures in the front and 4 ranks deep, and I will say there I'll get the best modifiers with that. Do not mandate that I have to have 5 guys in the front before I can start building my second rank. It already does this artificially. You get to use 1 die. We roll 1 die to attack for every model you have in the front. So if I have 4 in the front, that should be my choice that I decide to only roll 4 dice. Don't tell me I have to roll 5 dice. That might be a house rule that I develop. I might say, F you. Now, I could just have a unit of 4 and run around with 4 dice if I wanted. But as soon as I go with that 5th model, I am not allowed to put him in the second rank. I have to also put him on the front rank. If I go with the 6th model, I can't line up 6 guys in a row. Well, I have to put him in the back rank. That bugs me. The army lists are all exactly the same. The stats of each individual figure or each individual unit is different. The point values of those figures are different, but the army list is exactly the same. So you have soldiers, spearmen, archers, what they call line breakers, which are like heavily armored two-handed weapon guys. You have cav, you have general, champion, wizard, these are, and then artillery. These are all things that every army list that I've seen so far has. The stats of each individual model might be different. Like an elf archer might be different than a human archer, but they both have archers. A human swordsman or hand weapons might be different than an elf hand weapon soldier, but they both have them. In every army, you build a maximum of 4 units of any one type of figure. So an elf army can have 4 archer units, and then its 5th unit has to be something different. Where a human army can also have 4 archer units, and then its 5th unit has to be something different. Which I feel to be a little not disingenuous, that's not the word, a little less, like it doesn't give each army its own feel. Like I think dwarves should have more line breakers, like heavy armor, two-handed weapons, than the humans. Or maybe the humans have like a default number. But I think the dwarves should have more of those. The elves should have less of those. The elves should have more archers. And the dwarves should have less archers. Just kind of as a general rule of thumb. Now, as a player, let's say I want to play elves, and I see my elves have the best stats, I'm going to probably artificially choose those because it would be the best for my army. But, which I like. I kind of like that. I like anything that kind of makes you as a player choose what the lore would choose, but you choose it not realizing you're abiding by the lore. I like that. I don't like them coming out and saying, and this is where Warhammer failed, I don't like them saying elves have to have 2 units of archers and 1 unit of swordsmen and a catapult. And then you get to add an extra one of these horses or an extra one. I don't like that. I don't like mandating what I choose. But I also, and so I do like the fact that they leave it open that I can choose 4 archer units if I want. The downside is, why am I limited to just 4 archer units? Why can't I have 5? Well, because play balance. They don't want you to have 5 units because you'll just wreck the enemy, right? Because elven archers are pretty awesome. So they don't want you to overpower them. Or what's the word we used to use? They don't want you to min-max or be a munchkin. I get that. So what I'm trying to say is I've got a little, okay, I had some dirt on my little pop filter here. So I understand that they have limits for play balance. So I'm willing to accept that as law, basically, as the rules. Like, okay, you can only have 4 because those guys are just way too good. But having 4 units of 20, that's like 80 models. And that's a lot of archers. But that's okay. So if I had 80 models, why couldn't I have 8 units of 10 instead of 4 units of 20? Which is the rule. The unit, you can only have 4 units, no matter how big or small they are. Because 8 units of 10 would mean I would have 8 activations slowing the game down. It would also mean I would have 8 shooting attempts with 5-man fronts for a total of 40 dice, right? Where when I'm shooting with 4 units, I'm still only shooting with the front 5 and then adding 1. Well, the extra ranks make it easier for them to hit. So I'm still only shooting with 5. So I get that. I get that. But why can't I have 8? Why can't I? That's my problem. Why can't I have smaller units of 8 and let me just have 4 with 4 guys in the back? Well, first of all, I would only be throwing 4 dice and not 5, which, as a player, I would always put that 5th guy in the front rank just to get the extra die. But there should be a rule where maybe it's just a full rank. And this is where I might do some house rules. I might say you're allowed to have 4, and for every full rank behind them, you get the +1. So, to the target number. Because you still are only rolling 4 dice. And you're not rolling the full 5 dice. So that +1 to the target number, someone did play balance, and that probably is unbalanced. So I'll have to toy around with a little bit, but that's where my downfall is. I don't like the fact that they mandate 5 figures in the front rank. I can have less, but I can't, if I have more, I can't like narrow my frontage to make my unit look more like a block. I have to do 5 in the front and then 3 in the back as my extras. Other than that, really haven't gotten into all the special rules or the building of the armies and the building of the kingdoms yet. Yeah, so we'll look into that. But I dig the monsters. I dig the speed of play, the way the activations work, the amount of movement you get, the dice roll for activations. I love the fact that you're rolling d10s. There's a lot of cool things about Oathmark I really like. I really, really like it. I don't have the first supplement. I have the second supplement. The second supplement, I ordered that one specifically because of the skeletons. The first supplement I probably should get because it expands the rules a little bit. I really can't complain about the rules until I get all the rules. Am I planning on getting them all? I think so. They're not too bad. It's like the supplements are like $20 and the rule book was $35 and it's a hardback and it's full of a bunch of Osprey art, you know? So it's full of that throughout the entire book and pictures of miniatures. Look at that dwarf miner. Looks cool. There's dwarf militia, dwarf border guards. Okay, but if I went to I don't know, humans. Oh, I went the wrong way. They have human warrior and they have human soldier. Here it is. They have human militia. This is something I haven't seen in the other races. They have something called a human ranger, which, you know, I wonder if he's got a tab. Okay, sorry. Moving on. All right. Okay, so what did we talk about? We talked about, oh yeah, let's talk about this. Let me pull this screen up and let's talk about my polls. How do I do that again? Someone tell me. Oh yeah, I know. I see that nobody's chatting with me. That's perfectly fine. Don't worry about it, guys. If you got nothing to say, I got nothing to say to you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing around. Okay, what do we got? YouTube, right? Maybe. Videos, YouTube. Sure. Dashboard. Absolutely. Let's see if this messes with anything. Boom, it does. Okay. Let me do some fixing here. There's my ugly mug right there. All right. Wonder who that guy is. Okay. Okay, so yeah, that's fine. That's a good cutoff right there. This says I've got 8,000 current subscribers. Yeah, I think at least 3,000 of them are coming to watch my airsoft videos. Okay, and my latest video is this Oathmark Boot Camp Part 3, Combat. We knew this. But here's my polls right here. Thank you, recent subscribers like War Corgi and Forest Noir and CST. And then we got some comments, but we're not going to worry about comments today. I'm going to my community tab. All right, that works for me. I'm okay with all that. Okay, so some of the Okay, these are my newest polls. Now for my Napoleonics rank and file community. I got some votes. And the majority of them, as you can see, are playing black powder, 40 millimeter, just like myself, with 4 figures per base. So that is the approved standard way to play. There is the 6 figures is not super popular. Apparently, on my poll, it's telling me it's not popular at all. There's a out of 17 votes, I don't know how many votes, maybe that's 1 vote, doing 15 millimeters Napoleon's battles. Other scales and base sizes for rank and file. I don't know what that might be. Okay. But this is just for Napoleon's rank and file. Now, for my skirmish community, 2/3 of them are using round bases. Okay. And then I had another poll. I had a bunch of polls. And apparently there's some people out there that really support my channel. And I appreciate you answering these polls. I really do. I asked down here if you're playing rank and file, what are you playing? And this guy's majority of them are saying Napoleonics. And then that's why up here I said, well, what Napoleonics? But for my skirmish community, like skirmish games, Napoleonics AWI and Sci-Fi were both up there. So I asked, what are you basing them on, round or square? So the majority of them are basing them round. Now, for my Napoleonics AWI skirmish players, what are you playing? Looks like Napoleonics. Okay, so it looks like Napoleonics is winning out on every category. Yeah, people like Napoleon. Napoleon's battles. I mean, like Russia. Now I'm going to create a new poll. I know, man. You guys are really helping me a lot, and what that is telling me is I need to order more Napoleonics and paint them up for the store. I need to make videos about Napoleon more than anything else because that's what you guys want. And I appreciate that. Okay, so my next poll, and there will be one coming out soon, I'm going to ask you about what nations during and what time period of the Napoleonic era are you most interested in, and if it is French, or if it's Russian or Prussians or Austrians or whatever you're interested in, and that will help me immensely again. So I appreciate all that as well. Okay, so let's get rid of this display capture. Let's get rid of this community page. Okay. And I'm going to open the floor up. I know that we got a few viewers. Do you have any questions for me? I'm here for some questions and answers. I'm only going to stay on for a short while longer because my son and I are going to go to the dump with our trash. So let me know if you got any questions about Oathmark or black powder, Napoleonics, or about my eBay store. If you got any questions about painting, basing, flocking, shipping, anything that you got out there for me, let me know, and I'll open up the floor. What do you guys got? And if you don't have any questions, I'll hang out here for a few more minutes, giving you guys an opportunity to post some questions. If I miss the question, like maybe you're watching this after the fact on YouTube, after it's live and you didn't get an opportunity to ask me live, then what I'll do is I'll just reply to your comment. But if you're able to ask me live, then everybody will get to hear my answer and it'll all be good. So I'm gonna give YouTube a chance to get caught up so that you guys can hear my request. And after a few minutes, if there's no questions, then I'm just gonna close the video down so that we can go to the dump. And don't forget, support Bang. Oh, I wanted to talk. Oh yeah, okay. While I'm thinking about it, it's towards the end of the video. I wanted to say something. Other than the fact that that was really good. Okay, I don't know. I have a lot of viewers that are not from the United States. You're from the UK or from other nations around the world, Australia and Canada and what have you. Plus, I have a lot of viewers from the United States as well. A couple of things happened in the news recently, and I'm going to start doing this just to let you know. I'm going to start giving you my personal take of what happened in the news towards the end of my stream. And if you're not interested in that, then you can just jump off the stream. But it's going to be a little spicy, and hopefully it doesn't cause any problem with my streaming in the future, or get me removed or anything like that. So because I have a community, not necessarily built on this platform. So I feel like talking about it is not exactly why you're here, but I strongly believe in certain things that make me want to share it to anyone that will listen, right? Okay. So I thought about creating a whole nother podcast or a whole nother channel or something like that to talk about these things, but I don't feel like I'm an expert, or I don't feel like people will come and watch me talk about these things. So I'm just going to fill time while you guys think of questions to ask me. Couple of things. Norm Macdonald. I don't know if you guys know who this guy is. He was a comedian. He was on Saturday Night Live. He did stand up. I've never thought of him as funny, if that makes sense. I always thought of him as kind of like a gag, like he would say something and then give a punchline, and sometimes that punchline was funny, sometimes it wasn't. He would take 15 minutes to get to his punchline, and he had like this, and that was his stick. Like he would have this long journey to get to the one joke, right? And in my opinion, that didn't make him funny. But going back, now that he has passed away, I have had an opportunity to kind of watch some of it, the best ofs, or some older videos of him, and looking back on it, he was funny. Maybe I didn't get the jokes at the time, or I was too disconnected from politics, because his jokes are very political, and they were funny, but not at the same level as, I don't know, George Carlin or something. It was just a different level of funny, or a different style. And I want to say he's probably going to be, he's missed by a lot of people, and it took me as a surprise, and I don't really have a lot to say about it other than he's funnier now that he's passed away, and that's unfortunate. That's a horrible thing to say, I think. But when he was alive, I had no desire to go listen to him. None. Because I always thought that he was not funny, or I just didn't get it. But now that he's passed, and I look at some of his old work, I'm like, wow, that was really insightful. That was very funny for the time. But it's hindsight. It's like looking back on time. Okay. That's just one thing I wanted to say. No big deal. The second thing, and I'm going to preface this as well. I was in the military service. I was in the United States Army, and let's talk about something going on in the military right now. We have a general that I have mixed feelings. I have both a hatred and a, what's the word? Apathy, I guess, about what's being said. And that's unfortunate, because you should have strong feelings, I think, or I think I should have strong feelings, but I don't, but I also do. And we're going to talk about treason, right? And there are some people out there that say what he did was treasonous, and that there's only one punishment for treason, and that is not true. I know this. I was in the military. The only time that the one punishment for treason is in effect is in the time of war. Now, you could say that when this treason took place, we were in a state of war against maybe Afghanistan or the Taliban or something like that. And if that is the case, if that's the way they want to play it, then yes, there is only one thing that needs to be done. But looking and hearing, I don't have the facts. This is all personal opinion. This is me just... This is not factual. This is just opinion. I don't think what he did was treasonous. I don't think it. Because there... I think to take it to the level of treason, he would have actually... Okay, let me rephrase that. Let me back up. There's a couple of different things that are happening here. Part of it, I think, is treasonous. The other part of it, which everybody is focusing on, I don't think is treasonous. If you don't know what I'm talking about, there's been some communications that have come to light about one of our senior generals where he had meetings with his high-ranking staff and told them that if they received orders that needed that, or if they received orders to come to him first and let him know. That's just being a general, in my opinion. That's That's just being on top of whatever you think might be happening. That's just being smart, in my opinion. So I don't think that's treasonous. I think that's, hey, if you guys receive an order to tell, if you receive an order to do X, Y, and Z, make sure you tell me. Duh, that's what a general does, right? Okay. First of all, it should go through the general to those people, in my opinion, but he's just hedging his bets, which, okay, I'm okay with this. That's the part I don't think is treasonous. And that's the part that people are focusing on, saying it's treasonous to undermine the president. That's not undermining the president. Okay. The second thing that I do think is treasonous is when you communicate with your counterparts on the other side of the border, no matter who they are, England, France, China, Russia, whatever, doesn't matter who they are. If they're not Americans, if they're not the United States military, if you're communicating with someone on the other side of the border and you're telling them, don't worry, no matter what our president says, we're not going to do anything, boom, that's treason right there. That's the definition of treason. I can't believe, I do not know for a fact that this was said or done. I don't have the details. I don't have any recordings. I don't have documents. But this is what's going in our media, in our news media, which we all know it's fake. But if that is being said by, about a general that is politically on our media's side, then that's bad. That means, they can't hide it any longer or whatever. And this has all been being hidden from the American public since January. And this is now September. So it sounds like my mail just got here. I'm going to have to go check that real soon. I did buy my wife something. I bought her something, and she's supposed to be coming in today. But it's not coming by mail. It's coming by UPS. So, but mail might be my GMB order of flags. It also might be Warlord Games order that I ordered over like 3 weeks ago. But okay, sorry. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing is the recent outbreak or outburst, I guess, from our president threatening the people. I don't care what the threat is. I don't care, if it's COVID related or if it's mandating anything or if it's, going to the moon or whatever it is. I don't want to get into any of that. That's a topic of another story. But when you threaten the people that voted you into office, just outwardly just come out and threaten people, that's not cool. I'm opposed to that. My president, whoever it is that I voted for, and whoever is in that office that our government has decided to put into that office through the election process, is supposed to be on my side. He's supposed to be working for me. He's supposed to be doing what I want him to do. And even if I am not even if I, what's the word I'm trying to get at? even if I don't believe him or I speak out against him, hey, El Cid. Hey, thanks for your chat, man. That's over with. We've already had 2 hours of a live stream that we've talked about wargaming, and I'm at the end now where I'm just sharing some thoughts before I log out. So thanks for coming, and watch the video once it goes up on YouTube from the beginning, and you'll get all the wargaming information that we're talking about. Okay, so my president should tell me that he's on my side and that he's going to support decisions that we as a country make. And yes, I understand he's got to implement some rules and some laws and maybe even mandate some stuff. I'm not totally opposed to trying to curb a health crisis, but you don't threaten the country. You don't tell me that my freedom doesn't matter. And that's where we're going to leave it. All right, guys. So next Wednesday, I have no idea what we're going to talk about. It probably will be some more Oathmark because I've got some more Oathmark tutorials that I'm making. Plus, I think, well, these guys should be done way before then. I think I'm going to work on maybe some, I don't know what I'm going to work on. And if any news changes in the wargaming world, like if I get any of my shipments in or anything like that, then we might talk a little bit about that. But if you want me to go over some specific topics, go ahead and put them in the chat. And so maybe give me some ideas. Maybe if you, and I now notice that you really want to see some not American War of Independence. You want to see some Napoleonics. Look for a Napoleonic poll going up, and it's going to, my latest poll, my newest poll, it's not up yet, is going to be about which nations you're interested in hearing about. And maybe what we can do is we can change this Wargaming Wednesday into like talking about, I don't want it to be just Napoleonics, but we can sprinkle more Napoleonics into that. Like figures, where to get them, flags, where to get them, bases, where to get them, paints, where to get them. You know, could be talking about, because I know that there's a lot of manufacturers out there that don't make every different nation and stuff like that. What scales they're using and stuff like that. So it looks like 28 millimeter, 4 figures on a 40 millimeter base is what everybody's doing. So that's probably where I'm going to stick. But, yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for coming out and checking this video out, and I'll see you next time.